Okay. So now we are going to be using this startup business plan to generate the business plan. It's what I use. So I'll just click on it such that the interface sets to that particular plan. Now, we are working with a bakery business according to the suggestion of T code. So I'm assuming that we are writing business plan. T code is our client for tonight. And what is about to start doing, or let me say, is business is about bakery. So I will be asking him questions now to have an idea of what his business plan should contain. And that is what we are going to use for this practical session. So T code, please unmute yourself as I start to ask questions.
All right.
Are you with me, please? Okay,
yes,
great. So your business, is it a new business or an existing business? Just any answer works.
It's an existing business, existing for about a year and a half.
A year and a half, good. Now, guys, let's say you want to write a business plan for someone. These are the questions I expect you to ask. Business plan is different if you are writing for someone about to start a business or somebody who has been existing before. My second question would be T code. Why are you writing a business plan? Is it to get grant or to get loan from bank?
To get loan from bank.
Okay, good. The second follow-up question to that would be that how much are you looking to accept from bank and at what interest rate?
Now that's at least I'll be looking at between 500. Let me just be specific, 500K.
Okay, 500K. Okay.
Being very kind.
No, please, don't worry. Use any random figure. We find 500,000 naira.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not certain about the interest rates. You could help me out if you don't mind.
Okay. Let's say at 10%.
Okay.
Let's say you're working with Bank of Agriculture or you're working with one of these CBN loans. So 10%. Let's just work with that. 500K at 10%. For last year.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of the total revenue you generated last year? A rough estimate.
This is very fictional, though. So let me call it figure.
Just give any figure.
Let's say we made like 1.3 million.
1.3 million total revenue last year. Guys, please let's get to all of these questions I'm asking, because there are things I expect you to ask from people. Now, if I should ask you the total amount of money you spent last year,
yeah,
can you give an estimate of that?
700K.
That's 700,000 naira. So cost of goods sold. Now, to everybody, cost of goods sold, or let me say the overall expenses of T code of that business last year was 700,000 naira. So in our financial life, we call it cost of goods sold, COGS. So in that, I can chill. At the moment, how many staff do you have?
We have about 17 staff. Okay, 17 let's say staff. 5. Yeah, 17 staff, auxiliary and major staff.
Okay. Even though that is not very workable, you cannot generate 1.3 million naira all through last year and you have 17 staff. Okay, but like I said, we are working with future. Now, guys, look at what I just said now. It's not possible for him to generate 1.3 million naira and have 17 staff. These are ways where you have to understand a business plan, though it's a written document, but it is practical. If an investor is looking at it, there are ways to just do a calculation very quickly and we know that, okay, this guy, what he wrote here is not feasible, and we just dismiss it. So these are ways you get to know. So let's leave talk. Let me just say you have 3 members of you have 3 staff. The most important question will now be that the 500,000 naira you are looking to borrow from bank, what do you want to use it for majorly?
It's a bakery business. We have been able to gather some money. We want to get a vehicle to transport our products across our region, our locale. So we need to We need to
buy a transporting vehicle.
buy a vehicle. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. So T code needs 500K from bank open to at 10% interest rate to buy a transporting vehicle. Now, usually, guys, now to everybody, if anybody is writing business plan and they're saying that they are looking at getting this amount of money, you get to ask them what they want to use the money for. Usually, people use money they get from banks to either increase their inventory. That's whatever it is they use to produce what they produce. If they're not into product, if they're into service, maybe they want to use that to, get more staff or invest in advertisement, etc. Usually, people get try to access loan from bank to show up their running expenses. That's what they do. So, but there's a need for you to know so that will have effect on the tone of the business plan. So I want to write business plan for T code based on the following information. Other information I want to ask him, but I usually silent about it, is that where is the business located? And now the reason why I want to ask where the business is located is that when I'm trying to formulate my marketing strategy, so you want to ask that question to where's the business located and all. Let's say it's a new business. You might need to you won't ask the question like how much was generated last year, like what was the cost of goods sold, etc. You will need to ask those questions since it's a new business. But because it's an existing business, that is why I needed to ask what is the total revenue, then what was the cost of goods sold. Now, let's say again, before I leave, before we start writing, let's say, for example, the client I listened to me yesterday, the guy is writing the business plan for a friend who wants to invest in his business. The friend wants to invest roughly 6 million naira at 10% equity. That's a business plan. If I'm taking some time and you don't understand, kindly ask me what is the meaning of that business plan. Equity means the investment, the total investment of someone, or let me say, a financial investment that is not loan. That's what we call equity. Usually, equity is that, let's say I own a business now. Let's say I own a business and I needed to, I need 5 million naira to invest in that business. After that 5 million naira, personally, I am investing 3 million naira. That 3 million naira is equity invest because it's mine. Then there are basically two ways of financing business. They have equity financing, they have loan financing. So loan financing could be, let's say you are borrowing money from bank or anything that is not your money. So the guy of yesterday, his friend wanted to invest 6 million naira into the business with the return of having 10% equity, only owning 10% of the business. So he wants me to write a business plan to suit that particular term, then move forward. So my background is noisy. Is it me or I don't think it's me. It should be okay. All right, let's move forward. So please, if you know that your background is noisy, please kindly mute yourself so that you won't distract people. So moving forward, please, these are background questions you ask people. But for the sake of us, let's say we're just writing this for ourselves. Okay, thank you. It's Kunle, I think he has sorted that out. So let's just work with the information I have with T code information. So I'm writing my prompt. Write a business plan. Please, when you're talking to chat or this platform, don't get carried away that maybe you're talking to a machine. No. Just assume that you are talking to a human being, because these guys are as smart as anything you might want to think about. So write a business plan. Write a business plan about a bakery business, or for a bakery business rather. What about for a bakery business? For an existing bakery business in Akure, Nigeria. The owner of the business. As I'm doing this now, you might want to have a business idea in your head and you are working with that individually. I don't mind. So I just want us to see how this will work. The owner of the business wants to seek a loan of 500,000 naira at 10% interest rate to be refunded in 3 years. Even though it is not possible, if any bank is borrowing you 500,000 in this Nigeria, the maximum limit they can give to you is 1 year from experience. But let's just assume. So in 3 years. So these are, now, before I move forward, please understand that you have to be as realistic as possible. Don't get carried away by the information this ChatGPT is going to give you, even though what you give to it is what you get. However, there is a need for you to work with market reality, what is obtainable in the market, which is why business plan is more of you making calls, making your research to look at, okay, what is the prevailing condition? Say, for example, you're writing your every financial quotation you are given is in dollars, and your estimation is not based on the current exchange rate. You are writing rubbish. So you want to confirm that, okay, what is the current exchange rate? Or how much is this in the market right now? Essentially, business plan is more practical and more about what is currently obtainable in real life. That is what you are bringing to the document. So if I'm saying that 500,000 naira in 3 years, there is no bank that will borrow you 500,000 naira in 3 years. So nobody will teach you this. It is your responsibility. It is part of what they pay you for. You are writing for someone is to make that research. So you get to ask question, okay, is this workable? If it is not, you remove it, then you repeat what is workable. So to be refunded in 3 years. Is there any information? Currently, the business has 3 staff. 3 staff. What else? Once you get 500,000 at 10%, okay. The business loan, the purpose of the loan rather is to purchase a new distribution vehicle. As 3 staff, and every other information you might have asked from the person you are writing your business plan for. So don't mind my quick suggestion. So once I'm done writing the prompts like this, please be specific as possible. Be specific as possible. Just press enter. It will start generating like this. Let us just wait for it to generate. So so like I mentioned on our end, if we have a personal business we want to do, we can start writing the prompts ourselves. And while it's doing that, let me open Microsoft Word. So now, if you check, let's say we are following through now, we realize that everything I mentioned yesterday during the brief, the introduction, executive summary, company description, market analysis, marketing and sales strategy, everything, it will touch it for you very briefly. Okay, laptop is at this rate, you might need to have another class. This is 9/11. It is not time for it to be slow. Please, I'm coming. Oh, it's the network. Okay. So mine is still generating though. Okay. Okay, mine has done generated. Now, if you look at what is here, now let's just go by it very briefly. This helped me to generate a short liner. There's something called elevator pitch. Elevator pitch. For those of us who are familiar with elevator pitch, let's say you meet somebody in an elevator in 30 seconds or 1 minute, try to talk about your to that person. This generated it. We can read on our own. Then there's executive summary. There is company description. There is market analysis, competitive analysis, main value proposition, decision management and organization, product and service, cost structures, marketing plan, sales strategy, idea validation set, request for funding, financial projection. Now, once you have this, now I usually go extra. How do I mean? Because we expect that, let's say you're writing a proposal. What you have there passes for a proposal. So you can just copy this, check it, read through yourself, and try to see if the information you have here is relatable. I am always sure it is relatable though, but let us check. For example, let us look at the sales strategy. Here it says that our sales strategy will focus on expanding our customer base and increasing customer retention. Key elements include exceptional customer service, sampling and tasting, catering services, online ordering. Now, usually for me, I will go back. I'll copy this same one. I'll go back to say, let's say on marketing. Instead of saying business plan, I will say, write a detailed marketing plan. Marketing plan. Like this. A detailed marketing plan. I'll just change that keyword from business to marketing plan. Then I'll ask you to generate. Now let's see the difference. The first one, the marketing plan I have here, let's go back. The market analysis I have here is just very short. But let's look at what it's going to generate alone now. Please, if you are not getting it, let me know. Let us be free to call me back. I hope nobody is left out. Okay. Taufik is having a big issue with, I think. Now, from my end, it has stopped generating. Let us look at what we have for marketing plan alone, detailed one. This is the question I asked it, like, write a detailed marketing plan. Now you have executive summary, definitely. There is target market. Look at what we have there. The target market for the bakery includes individuals and families in Accra who appreciate high quality baked goods. The primary customer segment include local residents. This includes individuals of various age groups, blah, 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 event planners, local businesses, marketing strategies, social media presence, online ordering platform, web optimization, local advertising, involving radio, newspaper, magazines, etc. Partnerships and collaboration, customer loyalty program, community engagement. As a marketing person, I am telling you that there is no better combination anybody can do than what we have here. Beyond that, it gave you suggested marketing budget allocation. Let's say whatever amount you are placing on marketing, it's suggesting that social media advertising and content creation allocate 40% of that budget to it. Online order platform, allocate 20% advertising budget to it. Local advertising, 50% of your marketing budget. Web optimization, it's giving that suggestion. Beyond that, it helps you create a marketing timeline. Now, month one, this is what you should do. Month two, this is what you should do. Month three, this is what you should do. Beyond that, key performance indicators. This is how you know if your marketing is working. Do you have increase in social media followers and engagement rate? Is there a growth in number of orders and customer registration? Is there a number of new customers? That is that. Then the conclusion. Even if you want to be, you can decide to say, you can rewrite it to say, to include, there's no point, let's just do it straightforward. Now, I wanted to give me suggestions again. A detailed marketing plan, with relevant, or let me say prevailing, how do I put this? Budget. This is budget. Now, I wanted to give you a suggestion about the amount I should allocate, because now you might want to have issue with that. Okay, maybe I'm not familiar with this kind of business. For example, the Dr. Saint, the business plan I said I wrote 2 months ago for Dr. Saint. Truth be told, that was the first time I'm writing business plan for that kind of business. And the budget was large. The budget was large. They were trying to seek 100 million naira. So on that kind of level, the marketing budget was, let's say I had not used this ChatGPT for my research, then there's high chance that I would have shot myself in the leg. Because what I suggested, the guy even came back to say, okay, you know what? For example, I suggested 10 million naira for influencer marketing. He had to come to say, increase it to 15 million. Imagine if I had used just 5 million naira for influencer marketing, even though I'm supposed to relate that, okay, if you are going to get influencers, let's say I want to get somebody like Burna Boy, somebody like Burna Boy is even too high. That guy will charge you a lot of money. People, let's say I'm looking for at least national level, not international influencers to invest for that kind of brand. They will charge me a lot of money. Because I've not done that kind of thing before, contact influencers to influence for me. I don't have an idea. But with ChatGPT, I was able to get at least close to what the guy expected. If I look at 10 million, the guy said, you know what, influencer, increase it to 15 million naira as the budget. For billboards, I think I wrote 7 million or 5. He left it that way. My point exactly is that because this application we are using has current data, at least up to 2021, it suggests strategies or budget allocation that is still very relatable. Let us look at what it came up with again. Okay, now based on 500,000 naira that we are requesting, let's say it's assuming that the 500,000 naira is for marketing alone. Now it's saying that allocate 150K to social media, allocate 125K for online presence and all of those sorts. So my point is, you are very free to send in another prompt for you to get more detailed information for each segment. If you are done with that, all you have to do is copy and paste in Microsoft Word and edit. I would like to stop here because we need to go to the main business of today. If you have questions, please let me know. Okay. For the network, don't worry, ma'am. I will make the recording available. This time around, I'll make the video available, not even the audio. So we have access to the video. So please let me know if you have questions. Basically, on this part, all you have to do is come up to this part of this AI PRM, write your prompts. For your personal business, let me see some of my previous charts. Okay, I don't have it. I don't have it yet. So my point is that even if it's for your personal business, come here. The more specific you are, the better for you. You can be sure that the suggestion you're going to be getting from this app is relevant, is very, very relevant. So all you have to do is just to, if you're not very sure, double check with practitioners on the field and you'll be fine. Then we'll move forward to the next one. Please, if you have questions, let me know now, please. And if we are good to go, let's just drop yes on the chat box so that we can move forward. Please, let's drop something in the chat box if we should move forward. And if you have questions, please, let's say something. Yes, okay. Okay. Please, can we have 2 more persons? Progress, okay, good. Chico, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. So with that, we are done with writing business plan. So please, once you want to do that, all you have to work with is ensuring that we work with what is relatable in the market and be specific enough in terms of our prompts. So I want to download the Excel spreadsheet I sent to us yesterday because that's what I want us to use for the financial. Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay. So the next part and the final part of this class, from the AIPRM, we can also have financial statements. It will give us a summary. Let's go back to it while this is opening. Let me just open when done. For example, if you look at what we got in the first instance, down. Okay, for what we got in the first instance, let's go down to the part of the finances. For the financial projection, usually for every business plan on the document, especially if you gone at the days when we have 25 pages, 30 pages business plan. Today, because attention span is very little, I recommend that if a client is requested for a detailed business plan, it should not be more than 15 pages at most. 10 pages is highly recommended. So at most 15 pages. So a detailed business plan, an ideal detailed business plan today for me is between 10 to 15 pages. So please keep that in mind. So, but even from the AI PRM, if you go to the financial projection, you will see that it will give you like a revenue, operating costs, and net profits. In business term, I asked T-Code at the beginning of the question, at the beginning of this conversation, that what's the total amount of money generated? So if you're running a business, let's say I bought this bed for 5 naira, I sold it for 100 naira. I explained yesterday. The total revenue I got is 100 naira. So operating costs include the cost of me buying this pen, the cost of me traveling to buy it, costs I made, the amount I used to rent my shop, amount I spent on advertisement, and every other running cost. So that is that. So you subtract that from your revenue. That is when you get your net profit. So briefly, ChatGPT will give this to you. That is very relatable. It will give it to you. But this is not very detailed enough. So, like I mentioned earlier, you might want to write another prompt again, say, write a detailed financial forecast. You can use the word financial forecast. You can use financial analysis, anything on that. So get that, and you can be done with your business plan. But for the sake of this training, is why we're going to be looking at a very detailed one. Let me stop sharing for ChatGPT and just switch to this Excel spreadsheet. Where are you? Okay. So as I'm coming, it's still giving me issue. Pronounce it like okay. So all right. I believe you'll be able to see my screen now. Let me try to. If you are viewing from a system, it should be better. Ma'am, from a phone, I advise that you switch your phone to landscape, not portrait, to landscape so you can have a better view. That's Madam Fatima. Please switch your phone to landscape so that you can see the view very well. Now, what you are seeing here, okay, thank you, good. Everyone, what you have in front of you right now is a programmed template. If you don't know anything about Excel, you don't need to worry at all. So all you are doing is just input certain data. Get your data from the field and come here to input it. Once you impute it, it will automatically calculate everything you need for you without stress. For those of us who are familiar with Excel interface, down here where I'm pointing my arrow, there are different tabs. Now, this page I'm clicking on right now, allow you load now. Okay, this page right now is for the profits and loss projection. Some people will call it financial forecast. That is that. The next one is balance sheet. From the basic commercial term, it shows your assets and your liability. Asset and liability. It will be there for you. So there's cash flow. Cash flow simply wants to, if any financial expert is looking at your document to see how liquid you are. By the word liquid, it wants to know how available you have cash with you, running cash. We have some businesses that can be running on with zero cash. There is a business. I belong to a WhatsApp page. Let me quickly check. First founder. And they sent the owner of the business made a tweet just today that since 8 years that they've started their business, today is the first time they are running on positive cash flow. Positive cash flow. Now, what that means is that that business has not had available, or let me say excess cash on ground since they started their business. It doesn't necessarily mean that they've been running at loss. It simply means that they don't have enough cash on ground to foot most of the things they are footing. So maybe they've been using, or they were getting loans to shore up most of their operations, and they don't have enough money to finance themselves without necessarily getting help from other sources. So that is that. So now there is the part for cash flow. Again, if you don't know anything about business or you don't know anything about Excel, do not fret. Don't worry about anything. So that is that. Then there's a loan repayment calculator. For this, like I mentioned, like I asked Tico earlier that, okay, you are borrowing 500,000 naira at 10% interest rate. An average business person might not know how to calculate the amount you get to be paid per month for the period they are using. So this spreadsheet, the moment you input all your details at the beginning, it automatically calculates for you that, okay, this is the principal amount you are borrowing, this is the amount you pay at the end of every month until you are done with the loan. So with this established, let us just come to the model input. So what do you need to do if you're writing business plan? Again, you will not necessarily need this, especially if you're going to be using that AI PRM. But for the sake of, let's say, you are dealing with a client, Tony, that is very salary, or the person too wants to know in total, or the person is not a novice too. So you might need to provide this to that person. Part of the marketing strategy I use when I talk to my clients is that whenever I have a feeling that whoever is approaching me feels like what I'm charging is too much, I say, okay, you know what? My business plan comes with 3 to 5 years financial forecast if you want it. And I'm going to be giving you a programmed Excel spreadsheet that you can edit to yourself. Even if at the end of the first year, a lot of things are changing about your business, all you need to do is to go back to this spreadsheet and impute the current or prevailing marketing realities into it, and it will help you automatically calculate it for you. So you don't need to come back to me to do that. You know, just package and market that value to make sure, okay, yes, you are buying something. So I'm telling you that this is one of the things you can do to, let's say you want to charge higher than I charge. So it just gives your client the sense that, okay, I am not getting a one-off service. With this program Excel spreadsheet, I can sit down myself and calculate and run my finances myself. Again, you don't necessarily need an accountant. Let's say for some of us who want to start our business ourselves, you don't need, with this spreadsheet, this is what some companies pay accountants to do. If you have anybody around you who is let's say an upcoming accountant, in fact, at undergraduate level, what most of them get to learn throughout their 4 years in school does not exceed this. Does not exceed everything we have here. I'm currently doing my MBA program. I'm last semester, I did MBA finance. And what they taught me all through didn't go beyond this. I was just smiling in class that waste time. I said, although I didn't say it to my lecturer, I was just saying that to myself. So my point exactly is that on the part of, let's say you're trying to manage costs, what we spend, thanks to technology, what people spend years to do or to go and learn is what you have in front of us like this. So you just come to this model input, you start, you go back up. Here, it's just preferity. Put your company name. If you want to edit anything on Excel, you don't type on the box here. You just come to this part. This part I highlighted. So just type the company name, ABC Bakery, ABC Bakery. So you might want to format it to your taste. Let's say you highlight it, you bold, whatever formatting you want to give to it, add color, anything. That is for you. Excuse me. Okay. System is rolling again. Please give me from let this thing stop rolling. So that is for that. Then the next one, here you can list 1, 2, up to 4 products that you are doing. Please, before you edit this document, I will advise that you try to duplicate it severally, up to let's say 4, or let me say just have 1 copy somewhere else, such that you don't give yourself issue with let's say you did something wrong with the setting and you are trying to find it difficult to navigate it. So just create an extra copy somewhere else that you don't touch. So anytime you want to work on something new, you copy to your desktop, then you start working on it. So you can list up to 4 products. For those of us into products, let's say I'm a farmer, or we're using bakery. Let's say you edit family size loaf. Family size loaf. That's the one they sell for 1,000 naira. This one product 2, let's call it table size loaf. Table size. I don't know if there's any category of bread like that. Table size loaf. And the third one, the economy loaf, the one they sell for 200 naira now. Economy size loaf. So product 4, you can just cancel it. So that is that. And for those of us into service, whatever it is you are doing, let me say how you are making money, that is what we need to have it. If you look at the heading, it said forecasted revenue. So we want to look at how you are generating money. So your product line or your service line, as the case may be. So for me now, like I run a marketing and PR agency, I can say, okay, for my services are in 3 different sections. There's PR, there's digital marketing, then there is traditional, let me say paid media, traditional marketing, influencer. So that's how I categorize my service. So I can just have, I can just have PR here, then I have digital marketing here, then I have paid media, that's traditional marketing as a third. So once you're done with that, for this template can only accommodate, from what is programmed, can only accommodate 4. But there is another one I will send to you, or I will send to us. That one is, well, bigger and more, I don't know. This one is the simplest to use to teach this class. That's why I'm using this. That one is like broad in a way, but it's still the same thing. All you have to do is to input your data in the first part, then it automatically calculates for you. So also, if you are good with Excel yourself, if you know how to work with your formula, you can create this. All you have to do is just try to study how or what formula they use to get to arrive at this one, and use that to simulate your own. So once you're done with that, here they're saying for the year, family size loaf, how many units are we going to be selling? What is the projected number? In this case, if not that, let's say you don't have what I used to do before. Let's say you don't have ChatGPT to give you a very or next to accurate forecast. What I do is to start calling people. Let's say I'm writing this business plan, bakery business plan. I will check for somebody who runs a bakery business, and I'll ask questions. Some of them I have to pay them. okay, to get those information. So my point is, this is why business plan is a little bit difficult, because you have to make your findings. So you start calling them like, you have somebody who runs bakery business, then you ask questions like, in a year, can they give an estimate of the number of 1,000 1,000 bread they sell? So the person gives that information. Then, of course, the unit price. So let's say, let's just work with what I have here now. Let's say in a year, they sold 400, and the unit price is selling price anyways. Let's say it's 750. Let me use 800. Automatically, it will calculate for you here. You have to be 20,000 naira automatically without stress. That means that you don't need to touch this place. If you look at here and come to this spot, you realize that this Excel formula, you don't need to tamper with that Excel formula. It is automatically done for you there. Touching anything here will destabilize everything, not just on this interface, across other interface too. So product 2, table size low. Let's say we sold 300, or we are forecasting that we'll be able to sell 300 units this year. What is the selling price? They sell one for 600 naira here in Oshobo, 600 naira. Let's say the selling price is 450 from the distributors. It will automatically calculate for you too. Ditto for this one, economic side, that's one people buy the most. Let's say we're able to sell 1,000 units, and the cost price is like say 100 naira or 150. 150. It automatically calculates for you. This one just put nothing, just delete it. 0, 0. Automatically, this will be blank too. Now, with that, you've been able to sort out this one. You go to the cost of goods sold. Now, usually, here, there are ways to go about it. This place is in percentage. I talked about markup price yesterday. When you're talking about pricing strategy, let's say I bought this pen for 10 naira, and if I should sell it for 20 naira, it simply means that my markup price is 50%, because the difference between 20 and 10 is 10. If you put it on percentage, 10% of 100 is 50%. So in your, what is it called? So for every of your let's say products now, because we're working with bread. Let's say as a business person, I am saying that at the end of my production, my markup price is basically, I'm just adding 30%. By 30%, I mean, let's do calculation. Now, this is purely mathematics, and this is not cast in stone. Markup prices varies per different businesses. It's a function of what a business owner wants and the amount of profits he or she wants to generate. So I'm just trying to explain that what you have here is just mathematics or business mathematics. How much do you want to get? So let's say you are deciding that for every of my products, I just want to add 30% to it. What I mean by that is that, let's say the cost price is 10 naira. So 30% of 10 naira, 30%, that's 30 over 100 times 10. That's blah, 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 blah. That's 3 naira. So meaning that the selling price will be 13 naira. I don't know if you get that mathematics. Please, let us say something. Let us unmute ourselves. This is one is, we need to talk. Please let us unmute ourselves. I want to have a feeling that we are following. Thank you. So that is the business mathematics. So we decide the market. Okay, thank you very much. So
the percent.
I didn't get you.
I did not get the percent explanation. The explanation I made for the percent.
Okay, let me go over it again. For example, this pen I'm holding, the cost price is 10 naira. It's 10 naira. So let's say I am now saying that I just want to add a 30% markup price. A 30% markup price. What that means is that, what is the 30% of 10 naira? 30% of 10 naira. How to calculate it is that 30% simply means 30 over 100. 30 over 100 of 10 times 10. 10 here is the cost price of this pen. So if you do the calculation of in mathematics, 30 over 100 times 10 over 1, if you do the maths, that is 300 over 100. If you do the division, that is 3. Answer is 3 naira. So it means that I'm saying that I am adding 3 naira to the 10 naira as the selling price. It is business mathematics. Now, on the other round, or the other way around, let's say I know that my cost of pen is 10 naira, and I'm now saying that I am selling for 15 naira. My selling price is 15 naira. If I want to determine the percentage markup price, or let us have the markup price alone itself. The markup price alone itself is what is selling price minus cost price. Let me just call it profit. Selling price minus cost price, that is 15 minus 10, which is 5 naira. So what is the percentage of that 5 naira on the cost price? That would be 5 over 10. Sorry, 5, the profit over cost price times 100 in percentage. Okay. Then if you do the calculation, that would be around 5 over 10 times 100, blah, blah, blah. That's 5, which 5 over 10 times 100. That's 50%. So markup price is going to be 50%. Do you get it now?
I think so.
Do you get it? Okay. Okay, thank you. Great. Okay, Madam Fatima. Okay. Okay, let me go over it again. When people say business plan is hard, I think one of the hard part is this mathematics part of it. In simple terms, man, in business, we have cost price. For example, this pen now. The cost price for, let's say I bought this pen for 20 naira. So the cost price of that pen is 20 naira. Then I am deciding that I want to sell the pen for 50 naira. So my selling price is 50 naira. If I calculate the profit, the simple formula for profit calculation is selling price minus cost price, which is 50 minus 20. So the profit would be 30 naira. So we can as well, the English behind markup price is that elon mo file ọjà tí mo tà, elon mo agree láti file. That is the meaning of markup price. So you can substitute it for profit. So I am now representing that in percentage. How do we calculate it? It's a simple thing. Profit over cost price, CP, times 100. That is the calculation. So if you now look at it from the explanation I use, or from the illustration I use, the pen costing 20 naira, and I sold it for 50 naira. I said the profit is 30 naira. So calculating the percentage markup price will now be 30 over CP, which is 20, times 100. For much calculation, that would be 300 over 20. That's 30 divided by 2. That's 15%. So the percentage markup price from this calculation is 15%. Why am I going through the stress of explaining this? Because if I explain percentage to one beef one. So how do you arrive at this percentage? If you are deciding that on this loaf of bread, a buy fillet, that is the percentage you represent here. So, and usually, or let me say realistically, we don't expect you to sell your good more than double the cost price. So let's say you are submitting your business plan to me, and here in your profit margin, you are writing 70%. I will tell you it is not realistic because you're not the only person doing it. I will consider the price that other people are making. So that is that. So, but for here now, if you simply put the percentage profit margin or the markup price, it automatically calculates your cost of goods sold here. Okay, ma'am. Please, you will try to make reference to the recording later. So let's say I change this to 20% and not 30%. Try to pay attention to the figure here. It automatically change. Báwo ló ṣe get nǹkan tó wà níbí? It's simply giving you its relationship between this percentage here and the figure here. If you look at the calculation, the formula is between B16, which is this, then D7 and B16. Where is D7? Here, this one. So, but you don't need to bother yourself. All you need to do when you are filling this Excel spreadsheet is to look at, just have an assumption that, okay, realistically, how much can somebody put at the end of making, let's say, at the end of this, how much can I put to be my gain? So that is the explanation of all of these ones. So usually, or let me say from experience, your markup price should not exceed 50%. And that is peak. Let's say you're selling something double the price. Well, there could be exceptions. Let's say there are some variables where you don't need that. Or for people into service, you can just, well, I wouldn't even say for people into service, I don't know. It depends on what you use to get your gigs done. So if you don't have anything, you don't have any cost. You didn't incur any cost, which is very rare. Say for example, somebody like T-Code who does voiceover. I wouldn't say you didn't incur any cost, because at that point in time, when you were using your system to record or your sound equipment, there is depreciation. You are probably using, let's say there was no lights. You went to buy fuel for a generator. There is expenses for you to power your generator. Even before you got the gig, you were probably chatting with the person, or you had to call the person, probably, or you were the one that put the call through or something. There is the cost of your data, there's the cost of your airtime. Or let's say like birthright, so who's into plumbing work. The fact that you fuel your car to go to meet the clients to fix it, that's an expensive. You might be thinking that maybe personally you didn't spend money, even though you will, because you have to go buy equipment sometimes to replace the bad ones. So these are the things you factor into consideration, even if you are into service. So then for people into products, it is very, very straightforward. Before you produce anything, you must have bought a lot of things. So the amount you are expected to put on, like I say, the total money, the total cost you incurred, the total amount of money you are putting to be your gain, have what is it called? Like just project a certain percentage, a certain margin, and include it here. But pro tip: do not exceed 50%. Do not exceed 50%. Gross margin can be as low as 10%, can be as high as 50%. So once we're done with that, this place will be automatically calculated for you. You don't need to touch it. Then you come back to this. You want to look at maintenance. What is going to be your depreciation rate? Usually depreciation, I would say, put it at 5%. Put it at 5%. Max. You might want to read more on that, so just put that one there. Depending on the kind of facility you have, your equipment, how often do you have to change your equipment? So this one varies. If it is, you run a construction company where you have vehicles and all of those things, how many years you have to, work with it before you throw it off? By throwing it off, I mean sell it to buy a new one. So this one also varies, and it depends on businesses. Like bakery business we are talking about, that you want to buy another vehicle. You want to look at how many years are you going to use that vehicle for? Like till you decide to say, you know what, this vehicle is old, let me buy a new one. So for equipment like vehicle, like machines, etc., we recommend that you leave it at 5 years too. That is that. Tax rates. What is tax rate in Nigeria at the moment is what you're going to ask yourself. And for your business, pro tip: if you run an agri business, you understand that at the moment, Nigerian government is not taxing any agricultural business. It's a fact. If you are submitting a business plan to you as an agricultural company and you are putting 5% or 10% as a tax rate, I know that you are lying, or you are not aware of what is currently available or what's currently happening in your country. With that alone, I can dispense a business plan. So look at your industry, try to have access to information to know, okay, what is available? How much are they taxing you? Go to FIRS portal, Federal Inland Revenue Service, to look at how much they are charging for your business. So if you get it, put it there. Let's put this as 15%. Use assumption. I don't know what works. 15%. Inflation rate, we're in Nigeria. If somebody is putting 2% as inflation rate in Nigeria at the moment, the president is laughing. Let me ask, what is the inflation rate now? What's our current inflation rate now? Ó yẹ ká sọ̀rọ̀ àti fẹ́ parí máa wọ́n mọ̀ kó boring àti fẹ́ parí. Inflation rate wa o. What is Nigeria's inflation rate right now? Please, am I alone? Business people.
No, we are doing the Google search.
Okay. Okay. So what's the inflation rate?
22.04. 22.04% according to cable.
Yeah, we put 22.04%. Almost Nigeria. I'm okay. So that is that. So now in here, this is led to you to as a business person. Look at how inflation affects your business. So if inflation affects your business a lot, you might also want to increase. You might also want to increase your percentage price increase. Let's say every year, even though we know that inflation is not always steady. We might get to December now, and this will drop to like say 50%. Well, vivid imagination. So, but you must have studied the trend for a few months or years to see, okay, in Nigeria, for the past 1, 2, 3 years, inflation has been on the high side. It has been double digits. That's a fact. So do you want to leave your price increase at single digits or double digits? So that is left for you to decide. So now we are talking about bread. If you look at the last 2 or last 3 years, bread was still, I was still in the kitchen. We were still buying Oya Toto. Was it not 250 or 300? Majority of us are in the kitchen. We were buying Oya Toto 250, good, but now it's 500, Abi?
Yes, it is.
That's 50% increase. 50%. That's 50% price increase. So you want to, on this part, it is left to you as a business person to say, okay, because of the inflation rate, since inflation directly affects business like bakery, because most of them, they import flour, and commodities like that are not safe, are not immune to inflation. They are directly impacted. So somebody running this business doesn't have choice. If you want to be modest, is why you should put at 15%, close to the inflation rate, or you just mark it up with the inflation rate too, 22%. So I'm saying that on this part, you look at the current trend to decide what you have there. Loan amount, this person is borrowing we're borrowing $500,000. Just put it there. Interest rate 10%. You put it there too. And time of loan, we say we're working with 3 years. 12, 3 times, so that's 36 months. Just put it there. And that's all. It automatically calculates for you. Calculate for you. Once I'm done with this, everything else has been done for you. Let us go to our profit and loss statement. This is what you have. It means that in year 1, you are going to make this amount of money. Year 2, now this is a 5-year financial plan, financial forecast. Year 2, you're going to have this. Year 3, year 4, year 5. The information you have here is based on what you supply here. So you don't need to bother yourself about if this is correct, or this, or this, or this. You don't need to bother yourself at all. I am saying with all sense of confidence, regardless of the knowledge of that person, nobody can question what you have here, or here, or here, or here, even if you don't know anything about business. So far, what you have here is accurate. So let us look at profit and loss statement. So for this business, with what we've done, the projected revenue, please note that year one will be this, year two, if we are working with this number of output, 400 family size loaf, 300 table size loaf, 1,000 economic size, if this is all we are working with to sell for the year. So for year one, for family size loaf, this amount are going to make it. Or let me just say, total revenue for year one will be this amount of money. For year two will be this. Year three will be this. Sorry. This is what I'm saying. Can you see the mistake now? Okay, so for year one, this is what you have. For year two, this is what you have. 3, 4, 5 for total revenue. Then for the cost of goods, this is what you have here. Now on this part, you have to come back to fill in or to adjust this. Now I talked about operating expenses. You come out to fill this. Let's say in your business, for this template, some basic operating expenses that we expect every or most business to have has already been stated. If one or any does not apply to you, you have the liberty to remove it. So what we have listed here is sales and marketing. So here we have 15,000. If what you're spending on marketing is more than that, you can change it. Once you edit this one, it automatically calculates the rest for you. Sales and marketing, you cannot touch depreciation because we've done it in the first interface here, where we talked about here, the asset depreciation and the maintenance here. So it automatically calculates for us. So you don't need to touch that. Then insurance. If your business needs one, how much are you spending? Okay. Okay, Madam Fatima, I saw your question at one side. We are wrapping up now. So insurance, how much are you spending? Please place a call through to insurance company. How much are they going to insure the company you are writing the business plan for? Put it there for the first, to calculate the others for you. Payroll and payroll tax. Now this comes with yourself, the salary you are paying yourself and people around you. Then you want to look at, we call something pay as you earn. These are one of the things you calculate. Pay as you earn. As far as Nigeria is concerned, every salary earner, even business people, there is a certain percent you're supposed to be paying on your income every month to the government. If you are not paying it, ordinarily, you are the one doing, how do I call it? You are breaking the law, basically. Simple as ABC. But majority of Nigeria are not paying tax. And they will say government is not fixing it, even though government is not sincere. But this is not a politics class. So my point exactly is that beyond calculating the amount of money you pay your staff, you need to also calculate the tax on that amount of money. So look at the certain percentage of look at the percentage. It varies. Amount people pay for tax varies, or let me say, depends on the amount they earn too. Somebody earning 50K will not pay the same amount of tax as somebody earning 150,000 per month. So you check online. You can see this also on FIRS portal. So you check online and do the calculation. Please, this is where the majority of the work of writing a business plan is. And it's because you have to continue to make calls, make research to look at what is the current happening. So property taxes, the same thing. For you get the taxable amount, details about it on FIRS portal. So maintenance repair, you don't need to touch this. It would have done it for you. Utilities too. Let's say electricity, water, whatever it is that you do or that you need for your business. You buy fuel, etc. Amount you spend on that, you do the calculation. You can do an assumption, a very close assumption that, okay, let's say I will be using 100 liters of fuel throughout this year. I need to pay BEDC per month, or let me say, I use prepaid meter per month. I spend 5,000 naira to buy, let's say, so okay, as my example now here in Oshobo, if I should buy 10,000 naira energy, it will last me for, if we are very if you manage it very well, it will last us for 2 months. So 10,000. So I know that, okay, in a month, so in a year, that's I'm spending 60K on electricity alone. So you do this calculation. So water, well, we're not in Abrego, you pay for water. There is internet. How much do you do to subscribe for data? And every other utilities, any other variables that falls under utilities, do the calculation, you put it here, the first one, it automatically help you calculate others. Focusing, or let me say, factoring in inflation into consideration. Administrative fee, you are buying, let's say your kind of business has, you have the office where you need things like paper, you buy stapler, anything administrative, you supply, you impress, whatever it is, do the assumption, put it there. It calculates others for you too. Interest, you don't need to touch this. From the model input here, where we already put interest and loan amount, it will help you automatically calculate it, so you don't need to touch it. Then other expenses, or some people will call it miscellaneous expenses. That's what they call it this recently. All of this accountant, they just call it miscellaneous expenses. So you put it there. So these are operating expenses, things you constantly do. So once you're done filling, it will calculate for you that. Then there is non-recurrent expenses here, maybe unexpected expenses, put it there. If there is none, leave it blank. Other expenses too. Whatever it is, if there is none, you leave it blank. At the end of this, the total expenses will be calculated here automatically for you. Automatically for you. So if there's sales tax, there's income tax too. If this is not applicable, remove it. Now, let me explain what this means for us. I will wrap up. I'm trying to wrap up now. Sorry, you can accommodate questions because it's past 10 already. So what you have here is total revenue. Like I've been mentioning, I produced 100 goods. I sold them for this amount of money, 100 times the amount of money. This is what I have. So some business owners, especially young people that are still into business, let's say I made 5 million naira in revenue. Somebody says my account and saw 5 million naira, be thinking that I'm a big boy. I am not necessarily a big boy, because yes, that is the amount sitting in my account after I had sold everything I have in my inventory. Business-wise, if I should remove the cost of the goods sold, I will have something we call gross profit. Gross profit. Business, what that means is that after I had removed the cost of me getting the good I sold, this is what is left for me, or this is what is left of the money. That is what gross profit means. This again, let's say I did that mathematics and I was left with 2 million in my account. Somebody is still thinking that I'm a big man. I am still not a big man, because that money is still not my money. How? Then all of these operating expenses are coming. I must have spent a certain percentage of marketing and all of these things. So after you must have deducted all of these operating expenses, then you have your net profit. Now, for any business person, what you have here is how you determine if you are running a profitable business. Please highlight profitable business. And this is where investors come to look at. So let's say and if somebody is asking to do business plan, and after you've done your findings from your projection, you got to this part, and the first year it is negative, especially if it's a new business. You can still relax that, okay, usually no business can break even. Some business cannot break even their first year. Because, let's say you borrowed money to establish, for example, like Mr. Kule now, who runs a processing factory. Let's say you borrowed money to establish a processing factory, to buy your machine, to buy all the goods. You spent close to 5 million naira, and your annually generated revenue is just 2 million naira. There's no how your net profit will be positive. It is not possible. As an investor, it only tell me that you've not done your mathematics correctly. So I'm telling us the implication of these figures. So if by the first year it's negative for a new business, I can see business again. Yeah, that is very correct, because you must have spent a lot of money. And of course, even beyond the fact that your revenue might not be up to the amount of money you invested, business will not pick up immediately. You are a new brand. You cannot tell me that you start a business today, and no matter the amount of money you invest in, especially for a local brand, you cannot tell me you've already gotten the exact number of customers that will buy from you to ensure that you break even. Realistically, it is not possible. It is not possible. So let me repeat it again. Net profit here, the figures you have here, is how you know if a business is running on profit or at loss, not at the gross profit here. No, not at the gross profit here. It is at the net profit here. So if at the end of your calculation, what you have here up to, let's say, year 3 is negative, my advice to that person is that don't run this business. It's going to be at loss. Don't run that business. Well, there could be some business that you won't break even until, okay, let me put a caveat to it. So it also depends on what kind of business. So it depends on what kind of business. Say, for example, you are investing in agricultural real estate. You are investing in precisely oil palm plantation, or let me say perennial crops generally. The fact is that it will take at least 3 years for plants or for crops like oil palm, coconut to start fruiting. So an average investor will not argue with you if you are saying that you are not going to break even until like the 5th year. That is a valid argument, because ordinarily what you invested in will not start fruiting until the 3rd year. So that makes sense. But compared to a business where you can start generating revenue even at the 2nd month, and up to the 3rd year, you've not broken even, or you've not broken even rather, that is not a profitable business. It is not, it is not wickedness. So that is the implication of all of this figure. With that, once I don't do this table, you can just highlight it like this. Highlight it like this. That is if the person you're writing your business plan for says that he wants a detailed financial representation like this. You can write like this and just copy, or convert it to table. Let me try to drag this thing down so you can see very well. So let's say, just convert it to table. You insert like this, go to insert on your laptop. So it will give like this. Then you copy it, or you can even copy directly. Let me just copy directly. Copy and come to your Microsoft Word. Control N. Okay. Let me change what I'm sharing. So I change it to my, just change it to, so you can see what I'm doing. Yes. So I've changed to my screen generally. So you bring back to your Microsoft Word and your paste. So this is loading. So you paste. I would suggest you change it to landscape, or even if you're not changing it to landscape, just try to adjust the header here. And here you have it. So after you must have written your long epistle, the long text. So this can follow up as either appendix or even put it there. So from ChatGPT here, that ChatGPT is giving us these financial projections. So that is financial projection. You might not want to write any English. All you might want to do is just put this table down there. But I wouldn't advise you put this table because not everybody can calculate this figure. So I'll just suggest that you just try that, okay, in year one, like the ChatGPT did, this is the amount of revenue that you projected, and this is the cost of, this is the total expenses, and this is the net profit. You go to the, you come to the balance sheet, you do the same. Where you have style, it's because yours expand it. It's because the figure is not, is too much for that box. So it's not as if anything is wrong with it. You just expand it. So that all the figures will display. You copy it to, you paste. Then your cash flow. Increase it. You copy and paste. You don't need to order to this loan calculator. For this loan calculator now, from here we have, now, the person borrowing the loan, you can just give this to that person too as a bonus. If the person is borrowing loan, the person is expected to be paying first month 12,000. This is the amount he's going to pay. Month 36, the person will pay 15,905 naira. Now, a lot of people, especially those people who borrow loan, they would say that bank is charging them, they are just something like that. One thing about loan is that, let's say they have access to this kind of information, they can have an overview that, okay, if you look at the model input, the person borrowed 500,000 naira at 10% interest rate. The person is repaying, it's automatically calculated that the person is repaying 577,173 naira 58 kobo as the total amount of money to be repaid. Apparently, 77K is the interest on it. So a majority of people don't have an idea about what they are going into. Imagine if we're borrowing 500 million at 10%. A whooping 7 million naira is the rate interest, is what you're going to pay as interest on that amount of money. So with this, the person has an idea, okay, should I borrow this amount of money, or should I look for a financial facility that can borrow me this money at a lesser interest rate, and all of those things. So these are things people factor into consideration. Say, for example, now, a bank of industry can still go as low as 5% for some kind of businesses, not all. So, and there is Development Bank Institute to DBI. I don't know, I think they do single digits too. We can make our findings about that. And there are some Islamic bank that will not even think about loan. What they're interested in is profit sharing. So in that kind of case, even you just leave this, just impute the loan, but you put here as 0 interest, leave it there. So, Laura Kosha, for the loan calculator, this gives whoever you're writing the business plan for an overview of what they are going into, such that they know if they are making a very good decision regarding the money. So what you need to copy to your Word document, if you are working with this style of copying financial statement, is basically profit and loss statement and this balance sheet. You don't even need this cash flow statement, you don't need it. Now, if you notice, this thing is now red. This changes is because I changed this to 5 billion and not 500,000. So let me just take it back. 500,000. If you go back to it, and you put what as normal. So that is to explain to us that what you do here affects every other part of the document. So with this document, you don't have issue, or you don't need to bother yourself with financial forecast. Just come around, impute the relevant detail. Impute the relevant detail that is workable in the market, and it will do the calculation for you, as simple as that. With that, we've come to the end of my session. Please. Okay. All right. Bartrat is no more on the call. Time is gone. Please, if you have questions, let us ask. My system is almost dying, so 90% remaining. Okay, please, let's ask our questions. And let me just start with the first question that Madam Fatima asked. Okay, these are a lot of questions. Can a hospital do a business plan? Of course, a hospital can do business plan. Business plan is not, like I mentioned, for several reasons. One of the reasons why we do business plan is to get access to financial support. So if your hospital is looking for that, part of what the financial state will ask you for is a business plan. So you can do it. Now, one of the things that will be included in your business plan could be how you get to, treat your costs. Everything we've talked about will be there. Everything. How you want to treat your service, your customer, and how you plan to market yourself. There is one hospital, Duchess Hospital, that Oshobajo commissioned, Prof. Oshobajo commissioned last administration. The hospital is in Lagos, Ikeja, Lagos. They advertise their hospital on Politics Today on Channels Television. So that's the hospital, and they are doing advertisement. So depending on what you want and how big you want to go, you can do that. But I am saying basically that you can write a business plan, especially if you're looking to access financial service. How can a business plan advocate and advertise his or herself? Well, like I mentioned, first, you can consult a marketing person like myself, not free. But then, one of the opportunity you have, or we have, with AI PR that we use is that you can request for detailed marketing strategy, and it will suggest a very good one for you. Like we did. Let us go to one of the questions I asked. So I asked that it should suggest it should give me a detailed marketing plan. And look at the marketing strategy here. It says that social media presence, detail what I should do, or let me say marketing channels I should ensure that I am on. So one of the things that we can do here is that if you're looking to how you should market yourself, I would simply suggest that you can make use of this plan or of this interface on AIPRM to just request. This platform is going to be replacing the advice you will be getting from a marketing expert. So, and all you have to do is to just implement those things. And if you don't want to do that, let me use the opportunity to market myself. What I do is to help businesses and individuals market themselves. So our service cut across public relations, brand brand influencing, brand positioning, marketing, etc. So if you want to get somebody to do that for you, we can please talk. But let's say it's something you want to do for yourself, I would simply advise, just come to this interface and input the prompt, and it will generate for you a detailed marketing strategy. That is for that. Okay. So the next question, number 3, says that how can a business plan advocate? Okay. Sorry, question 1. Okay, what if it wasn't an existing business? Yes, like I said, if it is not an existing business, at the point when you are writing your prompt, this was the question I wrote when I was starting the write-up. I said, write a business plan for an existing bakery business. The keyword here is going to be that write a business plan for a new business. So you just have to be specific in the prompt you give to this platform. And I sent a template yesterday. There are 2 ways to go about it. You can decide not to work. I am introducing you to this AI piano because it makes it easier. You don't need to start cracking your brain about, okay, choice of words, correctness of grammar, etc. No. this makes it a lot easier. I mentioned yesterday, one of the issues people have is that it is, even if they understand the business part of writing a business plan, the writing part of it is usually very difficult and overall on your logic. So just come here, and if you're writing, let's say for a hospital, write a business plan for a new hospital in so. Then add that distance. Even if I'm stopping here, a new hospital in Ibadan, Nigeria. Ensure to give your financial projections. Or your capital projections in Naira. If that's all I'm typing, Emma won't see. Let's see the answer it's going to give to you. Let's go down to see what the answer it's going to give us. You would have, it will generate something shiny. So this is after establishment of a new, let me scroll this up because I cannot see very well. New business in Ibadan, Nigeria. The hospital aims to provide this to local community addressing growing demand, etc. My point, and the capital projections. Okay. Mission statements, market analysis, Ibadan, the capital of your state presents blah 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 blah. Population of this, Kinekon. So for you to know if this thing is correct, check the population of Ibadan alone to see if this is correct. Ibadan alone. So service offering, medicine, pediatrics, gynecology, orthopedics, cardiology, surgery, etc. And these are things you find in an average hospital in Nigeria. Part of the services they offer. Operational structure, it's listed. Marketing strategy, it's there. So it's continuous. So you can even go in detail to say that create a digital marketing strategy for a new hospital to be located in Ibadan, Nigeria. It will give it to you. What are the marketing strategy? Branding and awareness, physician referrals, online presence, community engagement, digital marketing, patient experience, etc. Then the financial projection, revenue expected to be for 1 year. Like, you have all of it. So my point is that whatever it is you want to do, just come to this platform and ensure to input the right template. With that, you should be fine. Okay. So let me see for the last question if there's any. We talked about loan interest as everyone got his money on Bozaruba, probably partnership, if I'm not mistaken, on which money to the business and the other person is the door of the business, so they share the profits monthly or annually. What to take on business? How can we plan this kind of business? Again, ma'am, this is very simple. Let me write you on that prompt. Let's say the agreement clause is that I want to start a hospital business and somebody is giving me 100 million naira with a business clause that is going to have 25% equity of my business. What that means is that if you are registering your business with CAC, especially for limited liability companies, they ask you what percent, the shareholders allocation. Every company has 100 shares, so to say, let me put it that way, 100 shares. So let's say you have two shareholders. So each of the shareholders can decide to say we are owning 50% of the business each. Or they can say one person is owning 70%, the 30% goes to the other person. For example, my agricultural company, when I was going to register as a limited liability company, I needed to add someone. I added my wife as my partner. So I allocated a certain percentage to her, but I took the larger percentage because I still want to be the sole, like the what is the business word now? Whoever share owns the largest part of the share owns the business. That is what it means business-wise. So let's say somebody, I digressed a little. Are you saying something?
I thought the word you're looking for is active.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So from the business clause, so the person said, I'm borrowing you 100 million naira and I'm owing 25% of your business. It means that at the end of the business year, that you want to share the profit or return on investment, largest shareholder. Exactly. So at the end of the business year, so maybe the total amount of money, net profit now, that the business generated is 100 million naira too. It means that at the end of that business year, if the person is owing 25% equity investment, the person is getting 500 million naira going home with it. So you can just come to the business and say, write a business plan. Write a business plan for a newly established hospital, Ibadan, Nigeria. The business is looking at obtaining loan financing at 25% equity share. Simple. Now, everything I've been saying now, this is just translation. You enter, leave the headache to this thing to generate for you. That is the benefit of this. If this before now, we might want to go through the stress of trying to explain the business term of, or let me say the implication of that, because it might require that you understand the dynamics at that level. Okay, what is equity? What is loan financing? How does it work? What are the legalities involved? But let us go straight to this thing is generating. I want us to go straight to the part of the finances to see what it will represent for us. Kalim Boshima reflect. Okay, 10:30 or more. Please, if I have another question, let us drop it quickly so that we can address it. Okay, fast. Oh, the part is so good. By the way, we enjoy lighting Oshobo very well. Here in Oshobo, here we can compare Oshobo to abroad. So I am marketing Oshobo to you. Come to Oshobo. Tiko, you can come and establish in Oshobo. Okay. Okay. Now, contrary to my expectation, it didn't give detail about how the net profit is going to be shared. So from what you have here now, you can come back to say, okay, let's even do that. I'm not supposed to write it as business plan. Write a detailed financial plan is what I'm going to use now. Write a detailed financial plan. Good. Thank God you are confirming that. Financial plan. Now let us just work with financial plan alone and let's see what this will give us. So revenue projections. Battery. Come, let me plug my laptop. Okay. Okay. Good. Now, as expected, if you look at what we have now, especially to this part, I'm coming. Now. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got something wrong. I am not supposed to use the word equity share in my keyword. I'm supposed to use return on investment. 25% return on investment. Now, this is what I've been trying to say, that what you give to ChatGPT is what you get. If you look at what we have here, especially at this part, I'm coming, where's that part? Especially at this part I'm highlighting. It's saying that the total funding requirement is 200 million naira with a loan financing coverage 75%, that is 150 million, and the remaining 25%, 50% as equity share. What the message this machine got was that the owner of the business is investing 50 million naira. But let's say I change this to return on investment. It should be a different thing entirely because of time. What that is going on. What if you regenerate the response? Well, yes, you can always regenerate response if it doesn't suit you. Okay, the reason why you cannot regenerate response is that it will still give you not so detailed response with that. So the reason I have to take each subheading one after the other is because I want a detailed plan. So if you keep regenerating, it will continue to give you the short version like you have it already. So I pick it one after the other so that I have a very detailed one. So that is why I don't do the regenerative response. I just give it another prompt because I want detailed thing. So that is it. So okay, so that is that. Do you have any other question? Do you have any other question, please? Because I have to go. Okay. Tico, do you have any other question? We should wrap it up. This is to 11.
I don't have any questions. It's just been very insightful.
All right, perfect then. So, Madam Fatima, do you have any? We need to wrap up. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, I'm assuming that we don't have any. So like I mentioned, I will be here for us till the next 3 months on a personal note. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay, perfect, ma'am. So let's feel free to reach out if you have any question to ask. We can choose to go ahead to choose a particular business idea we want to write a business plan for, and we can share it with me to check, ask for insight, and I would definitely be available to give us what we want. Once again, I want to thank you for choosing to do this with me, and I look forward to learning something from you when it is time. Thank you very much. I will stop the recording now.